Hello there, Akko here again. This is the second episode in the valuable bees videos, showing you how to get you from no bees to alvearies full of these guys. In this video, I'm still not going to do anything with bees. What I thought it best to do with this video is run through all the bits of equipment you're going to eventually need to make some super bees. So yeah, I'm going to run through them. So the first thing we're going to look at here is this guy. This has got an indexer. It's only got a few bees in there at the minute. I've got just a few standard forestry bees there that I'm going to actually show you how to breed with in one of the episodes. But what this is this is an infinite chest. This can hold an infinite amount of bees. So very useful. You can throw all your bees in there. Because I've finished my breeding process, I've actually been able to empty that out. But yeah, so I'll show you the recipe of that real quick. So yeah, indexer, there it is. Now all these extra bees machines require an apiarist machine, which I showed you in the last episode, because you need one for the data bank. So you're going to want a few of them. Copper, steady casing, which is bronze, diamond, redstone. Oops. Sorry, apiarist machine, steady casing, redstone, copper, and then the indexer. Throw some chest around it, got a diamond at the top, redstone at the bottom. So there you've got an infinite bee chest, so that's pretty useful. There's also an apiarist chest, which is pretty useful and a bit cheaper. But you actually need some bee products. You need some combs to make the apiarist chest. So you can actually make this indexer before you've even got any bees. So you've got a place where you can throw everything in. It's got a couple of search parameter functions here. You can put it in species order, or you can put it in type order, so that'll put all the princesses first and all the drones second. Or you can have it as just mixed. That's the first thing you're going to need. Now, if we go down into the lab, we ignore all the processing stuff for the time being. I'll just actually show the machines. There's a few machines that you need. You don't need more than one of each, but I've got more than one of each of some of the stuff because it's quite useful. So the first thing I'm going to look at is the isolator. Now the isolator needs power, and it also needs empty serum vials. So I'll quickly show you the recipe for those. Now, see, this is where we get stuck, because to get the empty serum vials we need royal jelly, and you cannot get royal jelly until you've got imperial bees. So as you can see, even though I'm showing these machines, the actual use of these machines, because this is where it all starts with the genetics, is gated by royal jelly. Without royal jelly you can't make them. Without them you can't get traits out of bees. If you can't get traits out of bees, you can't use any of these bits of kit. So that's why the next episode I'm going to cover how to get the vanilla forestry bees that you need for this process. The bees you want to be getting from the vanilla forestry are cultivated, industrious, imperial, wintry for a specific trait, and if you want some silk wisps, tropical. Silk wisps are useful for other stuff, but that's not actually necessary. But so I'll keep running through what these do. Once you've got the capability of making serum vials, they go in there, the empty ones. Pardon me. If we get some bees here, I'll use some winteries. These are all just spare bees that that will, when I start running out of DNA, will get processed. But I digress. If I throw a wintry drone in there, now not BLRs this, but this is a standard drone. What can happen is, so that uses power, works, and once this bar gets full, what will happen is a random stat gets pulled out of the bee. A random trait, one of the bee's traits, and the bee can get destroyed each time, or it can survive a few goes. I had one survive about 6 goes yesterday when I was doing a video that I deleted. If looking at BLRs, let me just analyse these. So you'll see that effect freezing was that first trait we pulled out this bee. Just throw it on the floor. And a short lifespan. So a couple of effects there that I'm probably not going to want to keep. So what you can do is, you see I've got a powered furnace set up next to this. If you any of the serums you don't want, sling on a powered furnace. I've got that so it ejects to the right, and it just feeds. Powered furnace makes them back into empty serum vials, so you just get your vials back. So you can just keep throwing things in until you get the effects you want. Now, I'll cover this in the next episode, but if you noticed on the stats of these drones there is one trait that we're going to want from these bees, and that's that guy there, fertility, 4 times. That's the best fertility you can get from bees, and you find that on wintry bees. So at some point you're going to want to get a handful of wintry bees. I found getting 8 or so will pretty much guarantee, if you get 8 drones in here, there we go, we've got it on the 3rd go, so I could actually stop that now, and I've got the trait that I'm after from this bee, maximum fertility. So we actually only needed 2 bees there, but if I'm breeding to get a particular trait, I generally try and get 8 or so, and then that's probably why I've got loads of spares, to be honest. Getting too many and then getting the trait that I want on the first couple of goes. But it's random, so it can take you a few bees to actually get the trait you want. So this is still useless on its own because it's 1, it's empty, and 2, it's only average quality. So that takes us to the next piece of equipment, which is this. Sorry, before we carry on, let's just quickly look at the recipe. So the isolator. Now all these machines down here, they take an advanced genetic machine. So if you look in that, we've got a bit of extra crafting to do here. So there's the apiarist machines that go into the indexer that I showed you upstairs. Well, the apiarist machines surrounded by iron, lapis, and a basic circuit board gets you what's called a genetic machine, and then your genetic machine surrounded by gold, a diamond, and an enhanced circuit board will get you the advanced genetic machine, and the advanced genetic machine is what you need for these guys, them guys, and them guys. So you're going to need a few of them, and you see that's quite a process. They both take circuits, which circuits are made in a carpenter. The basic one is just redstone and tin, and then the enhanced one is redstone and bronze. So you're going to have a carpenter, but you're going to need one of them anyway. So you see it's quite a rabbit hole. So then once you've actually got your advanced genetic machines, I made a few in one go because I knew I was going to need. I made enough to make all the bits of kit. There's also, there's replicator, there's inoculators, synthesizers, purifiers. They're the bits of kit you really need. I've got an acclimatizer there, but I've never actually used it. I've never found the need for it. I manipulate the traits of my bees rather than trying to manipulate individual bees with that thing. But You can see that in other videos. I'm not going to cover that because I've not used it. I may be using it wrong if I do an example. So I found it surplus. I've not used that. That's called an acclimatizer, just for clarity. So yeah, isolator. See, it takes blaze rods, emeralds, redstone. So we had it all up. Quite an expensive piece of equipment, but it's a tier 3 genetic machine, so they're all going to be a bit expensive. Once you've got your serum, you'll take it to the next machine in the path, and this is the first machine that requires bDNA. It's called a synthesizer. You can see it's got a power bar, and it's also got liquid DNA. Liquid DNA you get, oh, that's a tangent off here again, and mention another machine. This is a minefield, isn't it? Gene pool, this is another machine you're going to need. You see, this takes the genetic machine, not the advanced one. So this is classed as a tier 2 extra bees machine. Some buildcraft tanks, piece of glass, some gold and a redstone. And what this does is any bees you throw in there get turned into liquid DNA. Simple enough. I'll grab. Yeah, I've got room in the tank. Now, that bee there's not been analysed, so it'll get. I think this will get pumped out straight away, so we won't even see it. Yeah, it produces a small amount of DNA. To make them produce a bit more, you could beealise them, which uses your honey. Or the other way you can do it is you can use this extra machine here called an analyzer, and that uses liquid honey, but it uses less honey. It doesn't use a drop per sample, so an analyzer. One of them sturdy casings, and bronze ingots, and it actually uses a beealizer in there, so you have to make an extra beealizer if you want that. You see my piping system, any extra drones fed into there, it's getting fed liquid honey. Minefield. I hope I'm not confusing anyone with all this, it's a bit of a mess. That analyses any bee that comes through, so the bee produces a bit more DNA. That's optional. To be honest, you get that many drones, you could probably do away with that bit and just, you'd end up with enough DNA anyway. You see I've got a tank full in there. It's not like I'm struggling for it. So you could ignore that bit. Just pump your bee straight into this guy. So, carry on. We need liquid DNA. Liquid DNA goes into synthesizer. What the synthesizer does is you've got your serum from you've got your trait serum from your bee. What your serum does is quite slow. It uses 50 mJ a tick, uses a lot of power. You can see there's a taskbar going up behind there. Each time this bar fills, it adds 1 charge. So that's serum. And you need 15 charges in there in total. I'll take that off for now. So 15 charges, so you can see a lot of power just to get one of your serums that's a full charge. Next, purifier. This also uses liquid DNA. Actually, come on. Synthesize the recipe. Again, the advanced genetic machine. This one uses some buildcraft tanks, some glass, some soul sand, and a redstone. Next bit of equipment is the purifier. Now once this is up to 15 charges, we want to increase the quality of it. So this takes several passes as well. Again, you can see it's using a lot of power. It's got the taskbar going up here. You can see when that completes. So 1 pass has not actually changed the quality there. So let's see if the second pass does. Right, it's going to be nice and slow now, because it's going to go up, but my system's only not putting a lot of power in me, because I've got that going. That's not going to be helping it, is it? Let's turn that off for now. See, oops, that's a different one. That's a trait I'm going to make some lapis beads, because I'm getting low on lapis. And this is the one I was looking at. So we'll just keep doing this until we get an increase on the quality there. So we'll come back to that in a second. We can look at the recipe for the purifier. So the purifier, this one's quite irritating. It requires 3 ghast tears, so you've got to go killing ghasts in the nether. Hope they drop tears. Very useful if you've got the equipment and setup. Is get a looting weapon, looting 3. You've got a chance. I think I've had 3 tears from 1 ghast with a looting 3 sword. That's quite useful. So yeah, just buildcraft tanks again. Advanced genetic machine, redstone, and see we're still at average quality there. If I was to take that's filled back up. If I was to leave that serum in there to get a full 15 charges, adding charges drops the quality. So even though that started at average, by the time it had a full 15 charges, that would have been down to awful quality. Which is why this lapis serum is up to average, but it actually started at awful. So that's had quite a few passes through there, even though it was getting power starved, because my assembly table's on the same conduit line, which is a bit of a mistake, to be honest. But I'd already set it all up before I realised, so I just left it. So we'll keep doing this. There we go. So you see that's, so we can take that out for now, because I don't actually need this. So you see that's gone up to good quality. If you look at any of the actual serums that I use, oh, it's 16 charges, not 15. Not bad. So you see these are all 16 charges. So they've been in the synthesizer to get max charges, then they've all been in the purifier to get max quality. So excellent quality is maximum quality. So now these are in a position where we can use them. You see over here, I've got some, these are blank drones, again what I call blanks. These are what I use to actually produce. If you put these in VLRs, you'll see I've got some good stats, longest lifespan, fast speed. Because I use them to produce, when I actually make them, they've got 4 times fertility, so I get a lot of drones. But now I'm actually going to use them for production rather than breeding. I want them to have 1 fertility of 1. So if I take that one out there, that's finished. Put that in there. You see I've knocked the fertility down to 1. Keep doing that, don't I? So now I've taken that out there, I can't put that back, so I'll put that in the loading chest for now. Let's move them rubber ones out of the way. So these, what I'm doing here, I'm just setting up some I'm changing, I've got about 13 or so of these cultivators. I'm just changing them all to low fertility, ready for when I want to use them on something else. I've also got 2 rocky princesses there that are blanks that are ready for that lapis serum, once the lapis serum's ready. So once that's fully upgraded to an excellent quality, that'll be going in there and making these 2 to lapis bees. I'll take a couple of drones that have been that are finished, and I make them into lapis drones. Then I've got a couple of lapis bees to produce lapis. So that's the final bit of kit in this. No, it's not. Yeah. Before we get into that real quick, there's this bit of kit here, replicator. What this does, if you've got a serum you want, that you like, but you want more of, so you don't have to go through the process of pulling traits out of bees again, you put the one you want in there, you put an empty serum in here, and that'll copy it. So as you can see, I've got 2 productivities, 2 fertilities, max fertilities. So I've got 2 of each, so I've actually pulled 1 trait from the bee, and I've actually copied the serum using that thing there. So we'll have a quick look at the recipe of that one. Again, advanced machine. This actually takes some serum vials and some eyes of ender, which is just blaze powder and ender pearls. Redstone, so that's how you get that. And then to actually put things in the bees, as you've already seen, use the inoculator. That you want your excellent quality full charge serums on this side. You want your bees that you want to add that trait to up in the top. That process them, and again that takes a few passes per bee, and you end up with the trait you want. So finally we'll look at that, and this is probably running a bit long, so we've gone through all the machines here. That one takes magma cream, a couple of serum vials, so see they're all have a pretty similar recipe once you've got them all. So yeah, this is running a bit long, so we've seen what all the machines do. So now in theory you should at least know how to get a trait from a bee into a serum, how to improve that serum so it's a good quality, how to make a copy of the serum if you need be, and then how to apply that serum into your bees to add that trait to the bees. So thank you for watching. I hope it was informative. Any questions please ask, and I'll see you next episode. Cheers, bye.